Most nights I would have already been asleep, but this night was a big night. An important night to a young kid obsessed with Toronto Blue Jays baseball. Wearing a pair of wristbands with my hero Kelly Gruber's face printed on them and a Blue Jays t-shirt, I was ready. The night began by arriving at my aunt and uncle's home to watch the game. This was such an important perceived night, it mustered the idea that it needed to be seen with as many family members as possible. Once all the hot dogs, chips, and pop settled into my system and the innings ticked up into the night, I found myself lying on the floor in front of the TV, watching every pitch intently. My sister, long asleep next to my mother on the couch, didn't care much about the game and what it meant. If the Phillies won, there'd be another game. But if the Blue Jays won, it was back-to-back. I couldn't figure out what I wanted. For one, I didn't want the season to end, so pushing to a 7th game meant one more game to watch. But I also wanted more than anything in the world for the Jays to win. I'd give up all my birthday presents if it meant the Jays would win the World Series. So, that night, a win trumped the risk of another game. But the Phillies were up 6-5 in the 9th. It was close, but a 4-1 lead collapsed in the 7th inning with the Phillies scoring 5 deflated much of the hope we all shared earlier in the game, and my eyes started struggling to keep open. Even when powerhouse Mitch Williams walked Ricky Henderson to open the inning, my spirits weren't perked. With one out, Paul Molitor smacked a single, and the chatter from the adults behind me picked up, and the atmosphere livened up just a bit. Mitch Williams had, in fact, completely blown Game 4, and the Jays ended up coming from behind late in the game to win with a bloated score of 15-14. The death threat started swiftly finding their way to Williams from Philadelphia fans. Maybe one of the league's most feared closers had diminished confidence. This was his first time on the mound since the blown game. Well, up strutted Joe, and when the count got to 2 balls, no strikes, my eyes were now fully alive and open. Then a strike right down the middle. I remember hearing something like, well, if he's not going to swing at that, what's he even doing up there from behind me? As an easy influenced youngster, I thought the same. I placed my head back on the pillow, waiting for a ground ball double play to end the game. Then a swing and a miss at what would have been ball 3. With the count now 2 balls, 2 strikes, I prepared my nerves for disappointment, especially since Joe had never in his career gotten a hit off of Williams. When the ball was hit, my instincts took over. I jumped up and screamed, "Go, go, go!" I started leaping wildly around my aunt and uncle's living room. I was so excited, I didn't even see Joe doing the same leap down the first baseline on TV. Now, something else happened that night that lives in the memory of my family. I was the only person in that room that saw the home run. A full season of dedication watching as many Jays games as possible, and the greatest moment in Blue Jays history was blocked by a baseball-loving kid who moments before was having trouble staying awake. While my emotions were engulfed with joy, theirs was showered with shock. They'd missed the moment, and now had to see it over and over in replays, already knowing the result. In my jubilation, I had no idea how the home run was called by the announcers until the next morning when Sports Desk seemed to have the call on loop. I was too young to realize it was a different call than the one I would have heard from the TV. This was the radio call by the legendary Tom Cheek. A call that urged my soul to begin listening to baseball games on the radio. To love the visuals your mind could create while listening to the game being described. How words can amplify a moment into history, and how lines can linger in memory, always reminding you of the first time you heard it. For the next year, every school project I did was Blue Jays related, including an art project with me drawing a leaping Joe Carter with Crayola markers and the words, "Touch 'em all, Joe," scribbled beneath. Now, 32 years after that home run, the Jays are back in the World Series. And while my natural pessimism I inherited from my father makes me think the mighty Dodgers will roll through, that kid who shot up like a lightning bolt struck him when that ball was hit is begging me to believe that the magic of baseball and the moments it can ingrain in your soul will happen again. I hope this World Series inspires the next generation of young ball players in Canada like it did me over 3 decades ago. And you get to block the TV from friends and family to watch a World Series moment that will cling to you forever. Go Jays, go. And until next time, ever forward, Canada.
On the way, a swing and a belt. Left field, way back. Blue Jays win it. The Blue Jays are World Series champions as Joe Carter hits a 3-run home run in the 9th inning, and the Blue Jays have repeated as World Series champions. Touch 'em all, Joe. You'll never hit a bigger home run in